we just had this moment of small world, like, oh my God, we're in California and this,
Right.
So it was a really cool little, and he was talking about how this old guy, he showed up with his grandfather, and Bill Murray was hanging out with this old guy that was in charge of everything. And I was like, yep, Bill was a friend of my grandfather's. Yep, the Monmouth Park was Bill Murray's favorite thoroughbred racetrack, apparently, which I thought was awesome. I was like,
Welcome to Open Seat at the Table. My hope is that together we can make this the largest dining table in the world. Doesn't matter where you're sitting, on a couch, in your bed, the backseat of a car, or even a real dining table, we can all sit together at Open Seat at the Table. My career path is led so that I sit and eat alone most nights, and I miss talking and having good conversations around the dining table with my friends and family. So to get that back, I've decided to ask random people to sit and enjoy a meal with me, to have a good conversation, and to tell us some of their stories. Everybody has a story somebody needs to hear. If this sounds interesting or exciting, please like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss a story. On to their stories. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We're going to finish up with Westbound Mike. We're going to toss it up with Mike tonight and find out how he became the coast-to-coast pizza kingpin and how he got to where he is today.
Being up there for those 2 days for the series we were supposed to get, where I could go into the stadium and basically pretend I'm busy and watch the game and get paid for it. So I decided that was a better deal for me. So the rest of it...
I agree. I think I would have stayed and watched the World Series too.
So it was cool. So I knocked 2 things off my bucket list in one job. I got the Super Bowl experience and the World Series experience in one job. So I have been blessed. And as a concert promoter, and the people I got to know and the people I got to meet, it was a pretty cool journey. And then I had an opportunity to open up a pizza place up in Course Gold, up on the way to Yosemite National Park. And so I opened up this little pizza place in a little mountain town. It's nice. It was a lot of fun. The landlords were absolutely horrid. There was no air conditioning. There was no cold water. Little inconveniences like that for a restaurant, but the community was just amazing. So I got to sponsor a bunch of schools and sponsor a bunch of sports teams and things that I really wanted to always do. I always thought it'd be cool to go to a school that my kids didn't go to and see, my company's banner in the parking lot, things like that. I just really got a kick out of, and being able to, essentially buy the uniforms for the teams, and things, and just knowing to contribute just a little bit to those memories, and to offer the venue, and get to make my own menu, do things my way, and I got to help with, as many people as I could, and ended up staying open through COVID, through all 3 of the shutdowns, keeping all my employees working, whether the business was there or not. I felt it was important that as an employer, just because I was getting screwed royally, it was unfair for me to roll over and take it out on my employees. So I tried to keep everything the same so they would continue their lives and, pay their bills and stuff and be able to make it through that. And rolling into the second shutdown, there was the creek fire that started, and I would drive through Oakhurst on the way home and see all these firefighters covered in soot going into 7-Eleven for food, and it kind of...
Wasn't that the biggest fire in California history?
Yep. It got up to, I think, a little under 500,000 acres. That's what it grew to. And it took 3 months, almost 4 months
to even get control of.
To get it going. So these firefighters were, when it was, I think, 88,000 acres with zero containment, there was like 900 firefighters fighting the fire. And I decided I was going to feed them myself. So I put this thing out on Facebook, and I offered them a free meals, free beer, whatever they wanted, and we ended up feeding almost 500 firefighters, which was really cool. The whole life of the fire, and it was a really cool experience. I got to meet up with people from all over the country, and one of the one of the firefighters in particular from New York was telling me stories about him and his grandfather going down to the Jersey Shore to the racetrack, the Monmouth Park racetrack, which made my ears light up.
Right. That's your home.
That was my home. And he was describing this box that he used to sit in with his grandfather, with this old dude that was in charge of everything. That was how he described it. And my grandfather was the superintendent of Monmouth Park racetrack for almost 50 years. So as he's describing this box, it's like, it's the one with the planters in front of it right on the finish line, right? He's like, yeah, that was amazing. And it's like, yeah, that was my grandfather's box. And we just had this moment of small world, like, oh my God, we're in California, and this,
Right.
So it was a really cool little, and he was talking about how this old guy, he showed up with his grandfather, and Bill Murray was hanging out with this old guy that was in charge of everything. And I was like, yep, Bill was a friend of my grandfather's. Yep, the Monmouth Park was Bill Murray's favorite thoroughbred racetrack, apparently. Which I thought was awesome. I was like, nice. Yeah. So that was a cool little, trip down amnesia lane, so to speak. But it was really cool because it just reminded me of making a mark and the importance of creating memories in other people's lives. And that was probably the coolest thing that I found owning a restaurant is. I could be part of the birthday parties. I could be part of the sponsorships of sports teams. I could be part of these memories that, hey, remember this birthday? We went to that really cool pizza place, and
right.
And it's simple, and it's insignificant in the grand scheme of things. But it's so much more meaningful to me than doing a concert with so-and-so. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so much more meaningful.
It's meaningful here, not meaningful here.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's one of those things that, it's recognized as simple, this simple contribution to someone else's life of just having a place to eat that they enjoy can provide them with something to look back on for their entire life. And all I did was make a pizza and give them a chair. You know what I mean?
Right.
What a cool way to live. So I've gone into a lot of debt, and I'm happily, would do it again by the choices that I've made. And I've learned that with all my little crazy journey things that have happened, even getting hurt while trying to help people, I was helping people, so I can't regret it.
Right.
I could regret the outcome. I could regret how everything turned out as far as the injury is concerned. I got to spend time with my son, and I spent so much time that it was really something that no one could ever take from me.
Right.
And if I had an opportunity to have $1 million handed to me or that time, I'd take that time over and over and over again, because that's what life's all about. And
you can't take the money when we pass away, but we can take the memories.
Exactly. So. And just being able to help at the school, I got to help other kids too. I got to help people through learning issues. I got to I was ran the stations, and I actually got involved in that side of it. And
right.
It's just rewarding, so and a lot of those kids would come in to the shop and would come in, you know what I mean? So kind of full circle. And I had a mutual friend introduced me to a guy down here in this shop who needed help kind of making his business a little better. So I came down as a kind of a consultant, just to try and give them some pointers, and I tried to come up with different plans how to make it better and all that. And he's a really nice guy, incredible family, and just really worked his butt off. And his family worked their butts off to try and make it a success. They were here all the time, and they really, did a lot. They just couldn't get it off the ground. And long story short, it turned into an opportunity for me to take this place over, and I couldn't say no. Because having a second location would be fantastic. But at the same time, I started building this place. The shop up the mountain was 115 degrees inside the dining room, and the landlords wouldn't fix it, wouldn't do anything about it, and no cold water, no anything. And last August, I ended up having a stroke, and one of the first times I dropped a pizza. But I know, right? It's a poor pizza. But it kind of messed me up, and there's still some residual stuff that comes up. I try and make light of and try and make jokes out of. But I got out of the hospital and went right back to work.
It's probably exactly the opposite of what your doctors told you to do.
Of course it is. And after my surgeries, I was supposed to take weeks and weeks and weeks off, and I literally stopped at the shop on the way home from Stanford to work for 4 or 5 hours. So, yeah, doctor's advice only goes so far with me.
I understand that.
You got to do what you got to do. Yeah. But it was one of those situations where I went to plug something in the kitchen, and the whole spark thing, shot my arm and shot me into the wall that was right behind me. And I was like, okay, all right, I think I'm done here. So I decided that was the last straw. And there was a bunch of other fights going on with them. And it turned into a big community uprising and standing up for other tenants were having problems and stuff like that. And just organizing people to fight back and protect themselves. Put enough pressure on these people to solve a lot of the problems, but it made me a bigger target. So it ended up being an exit point for me. And so I just focused all my attention down here and just been doing that ever since. And it's refreshing because I came into a place with a much bigger kitchen, which gives me as a chef a lot more opportunity to do things for consumers that don't usually have options. Like celiac disease is something that I was introduced to with a pretty serious relationship that I've had recently, and I couldn't take her anywhere except 3 restaurants in the whole area.
Understand that?
Yeah.
Understand that?
And it was one of those things that I felt bad because I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more for her. And then I started thinking of all everyone else that has celiacs, that has special diet issues, and after coming in here and seeing the size of the kitchen, I was just like, I can do something here. I can make a difference here. I can provide stuff that people can't get anywhere else. I started, I hate baking. I hate the act of baking. I do not like to bake. It is, as a chef, what I enjoy the least. But I make my own pizza dough every day, my regular pizza dough, and then I decided to make my own gluten-free dough every day. And now that's gravitated into chocolate pizza dough that I make for dessert pizzas and calzones. And so I'm baking constantly. So I can no longer say I don't like to bake. Now it's just a different type of experiment. But I'm able to provide a huge gluten-free menu and dairy-free menu. And I'm working on a keto menu. I just want to play. I just want to create things that the big boys with the big wallets aren't bothering to do. And and I'm hoping that's enough to put us on a different level. So it's been one of those things, and I'm still dealing with heart issues, still dealing with stroke issues, still dealing with all my
Mobility,
all my injuries, and the injuries to my arm are still haunting me every day. But I still have my arm. I still have. I was told there was a large percentage of chance that I wouldn't. With the first big surgery, and so I'm blessed. I look around and I see blessings. I see blessings everywhere, and
it's a good outlook on life.
you got to. There's nowadays it seems like there's more people going out of their way to find negative than to find positive, and to create issues, and it's just so sad.
It seems like it takes more time to live negatively than it does to live positively.
And that's and I never understood that. I never understood that perspective, because it also takes a lot more energy.
Yeah.
And especially the stirs, the people who stir up, rumors or whatever. It always, it always kind of confused me, because I never really understood why people would go that far out of their way to create negative in someone else's world,
right.
or just to be angry over something that not only did they not have any control over, but they don't know if it's actually fact or fiction. And I never understood that. Right. People make their assumptions. Yes, everybody makes mistakes. Everything, and all the things that happen. I try and I beat myself up a lot, because I internalize things that that I probably shouldn't, but I want to figure out whys and who's and hows, and so it doesn't happen again. Right. If it's something that caused me pain or someone I love pain, I want to prevent it. I want it never to happen again. And I just, after all the crazy things that have happened, I just kind of brought myself back to how I want to live. And I tell my sons that, if you live through your heart, you'll never have any true regrets. And if you make a mistake and you own that mistake, it's a lesson. It's not a mistake. Right? So you're always growing. You're always leaving the opportunity and using the opportunity to be better. Either a better person, a better chef, a better father, a better mother, a better wife, a better husband, whatever. Right? It's an evolution. Everything is an evolution. And I try and apply that in what I do here. I try and apply that with the people who come through the door. I try and apply that to any decision I have to make. I want to run it through that process, before I go there. And it took a while, for that to become the natural, process.
But it shows, because that's why when I first met you, and then I thought about having you on as a guest. Well, it shows in your life. It does.
Thank you. I'm me, and I hope it's good enough. It
can only be you.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me, because it's been a strange journey, and just
right.
A lot of weird left field. So that happened.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. On occasion, you just got to step back and go. Done some cool things.
That was a left turn in my life.
Yeah, and you know what? I've done some cool things. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, and I wish some things went differently. I wish anybody who pretends they've never made a mistake, or they've never done anything that could have negatively impacted somebody is kidding themselves, because everyone makes mistakes.
Yep.
And all I hope in my life is that the people who actually know me recognize my heart, and they know my heart, and they know that no matter what happens, I'm going to try and help people with whatever I have, which for a while hasn't been much, but I can cook. I have a restaurant. So, I can do charity stuff. I can do stuff like that. I can feed people that may or may not have the ability to pay for it, or you know what I mean?
Yep,
I
I
can
do.
do that, and I'm good with that. And if I die broke from doing that, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. As long as my kids are happy and they see why I do what I do, and they support it. And I've been blessed. My boys are right there, and I see them making decisions directly from their heart, and it's just so.
Isn't that the
like,
best feeling
oh,
when you see your kids doing good? Like,
it's
not I mean, making mistakes. That's
oh
how
yeah,
you grow.
we're human.
But
Yeah,
when they make a big decision in their life based on something you've taught them, and you're like, I'm proud.
I have a problem taking credit for anything. I made my decisions. I did what I did in my life, and I hope it all worked out well. I hope I was able to help people. I hope I was able to make a difference, and I hope the world's better. You know, a little bit better than when I got here. I hope I contributed that. And if I could inspire somebody to do something, or to fight through pain, or to look at the bright side of something, or to try a little harder, and I'm good with that being, my legacy, or whatever you want to call it. And I think my boys are gonna make a big difference in this world, and I know they've made a big difference in mine. But I think they have the capacity, and I think everyone has the capacity. But I really believe that once they get comfortable, with their own mission, they're going to make a big difference. And that's all I can hope for, is that
Good.
if I can leave my next generation to making a difference too, and not being greedy little kids, like most of them are these days.
Right.
And actually have empathy, have sympathy, for others. And
Yes. Yeah.
and that's refreshing. I have two little protectors. They protect their friends. They protect, me. They protect the mom. They protect the shop. And that's
Good.
half the battle right there.
Yeah.
It's them looking at other people, going, "Oh, can I help you with something?" Or saying hi to somebody that they don't know, just because, maybe it'll make their day better. And just that thought process alone, I think I'm leaving something that would be a positive mark.
It's good.
You can only hope.
Can only hope.
I have faith. Where I'm here for a reason. I survived all the crap that I survived for a reason, and the man upstairs has got a plan for me. I just don't know what it is. Right now, it's pizzas.
Well, I think you're doing it. I think you're doing a good job, and thank you for your time. Thank you for telling us your story, and to me, it's an incredible story to me, to see all the twists and turns that you've gone through in your life, and that you're still here. And I think you're doing a good job. I know that our family appreciates what you do here.
I appreciate it very much.
And so thank you very much.
Thank you. You're a good man. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed Mike's story as much as I did. He's got quite the interesting life. Remember, treat your spouse like a king or queen, and you always have a successful love life. Treat others better than you want to be treated, and you always have a successful social life. Remember, work harder than anybody around you, and treat your job like if you own the business, and you always have a successful work life. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment so we know what you're thinking and how we can improve. Thank you.